with SRN News. I'm Keith Peters in Washington. President Trump has chosen not to sign a sweeping housing affordability bill Friday in protest of Congress not approving a strict voter ID bill that lacks sufficient support to pass.
The housing measure will become law without President Trump's signature because he didn't veto it. On Truth Social, he wrote, "I will not sign the housing bill, which has been fully approved by Congress and sent to the White House, in protest over the fact that the United States Senate is not capable of passing the Save America Act, which is polling at 97% with the Republican Party and very high with the non-politician Democrats." The president's rejection of the legislation cut short the GOP's efforts to address a key voter concern about rising home costs. He says the Save America Act will have a greater impact on society. Bernie Bennett, Washington.
The European Union says Facebook and Instagram are designed to be addictive.
The European Union is accusing Meta of designing Facebook and Instagram to get people hooked, especially children, and it's demanding that Meta disable what it calls key addictive features, such as infinite scrolling and autoplay of videos. The EU's charges against Meta platforms are part of its investigation under the Digital Services Act, and it threatens hefty fines if tech platforms don't protect internet users. Meta says the preliminary findings do not recognize the steps the company has already taken to protect teens. It says its teen accounts automatically protect minors and put parents in control. I'm Donna Warder.
Lawyers for the man accused of killing conservative activist Charlie Kirk are trying to sow doubt about the case, but a prosecutor countered Friday that authorities have overwhelming evidence against defendant Tyler Robinson. That includes DNA tests and apparent confessions by Robinson to people he knew. On Wall Street, they're up by 149 points. This is SRN News. Christians in Nigeria are facing growing threats as violence and instability worsen across parts of the country.
Mission groups report Islamic extremists, including Boko Haram and ISIS-linked fighters, continue attacking Christian villages, churches, and schools. They also point to deadly raids by radicalized militias, along with kidnappings and the displacement of thousands of families. Missionaries say many Christians feel abandoned by authorities and fear a lack of accountability for attackers. The violence remains centered in northern Nigeria, but is increasingly affecting neighboring regions. Rich Thomason reporting.
The National Hispanic Christian Leadership Conference is planning a Washington, D.C. gathering this October 20th at the Museum of the Bible for a leadership summit. The aim of the conference is to honor the 25th anniversary of the organization and move forward together.
To do something about what's going on in this country.
Something resembling anything.
If you want to get involved in the conversation, 855-REAL-JOE, 855-732-5563. Check out my classic podcast. There's so much going on the website, but do something. Get involved.
The Joe Messina Show.
We are back at it again. Joe Messina, your host. Always a pleasure to have you with me. 855-REAL-JOE, 855-732-5563. Look, get involved, get engaged. Truly be part of the solution, right? You do that by getting informed. You do that by getting engaged. You really, truly, you do that by being informed enough to be able to speak to other people, right? To be able to speak to them about it. I know some of you are like, okay, we hear this every day, but we have new listeners. We have people that come in, come out. Right? Some of them haven't heard it, or they haven't heard it enough because they're not doing it. Really that simple for me. Anyhow, see, so this is cool. The left Democrat socialists unveil their radical plan to abolish the Senate. They're going to replace the president. They're going to replace the Supreme Court. They're going to grant mass amnesty, and they're going to overthrow the U.S. Constitution. And it's up there for everybody to read. Right? Item 1, eliminate the U.S. Senate. Okay. Replace the president and the Supreme Court with an executive and judiciary chosen by and subordinate to Congress. So Congress will choose who the executive director is, and the judiciary, they'll put together their own, court system, right? And they're going to do amnesty for all immigrants. And they're going to defund the Department of War, Department of Defense, whatever they rename it to, whatever they want to call it. Although, I don't know how they think they're going to protect the country or the country's interests. And they're right out there in the open. They'll let you know right up front what they're going to do. The Democrat Socialists of America, they're far left, and they're not Democrats. Even many Democrats don't want to be associated with them anymore. They've openly admitted that the only reason they even have that name in there is to get buy-in, to get acceptance from others. So it's a blueprint to dismantle this country when you look at the way they laid it out, what they said about it. Now, some people say this is terrifying. No, what you need to do is do what I told you to do. Make sure you get the information out. Right? We have got a constitutional republic, and we need to live by it. You know, I was Scalia. I've had several times now. I'm just fascinated by the guy. I've been doing Scalia binging for a long time, and the thread that he keeps coming back to is that the Constitution is nothing more than a piece of paper if we don't uphold it, if we don't support it. And you've seen that happen now. You've seen the fact that we're not supporting the Constitution. We're not living by the laws that we put out there. Remember, the Constitution is a ceiling for them not to go above. So that we, the people, maintain control. And we don't. We don't have it. Congress totally ignores our wishes. Right? It's really that simple. They want to close all, and then he goes on in the article to say they want to close all the overseas U.S. military bases, end American economic sanctions against foreign adversaries, abolish what it calls the carceral forces of the capitalist state, including sweeping police and prison reforms. Now think about it. If they implement these proposals, it would fundamentally transform the American system, right? It would transform our government, eliminating the constitutional separation of powers, the ones that were established by the founding fathers that we bought into and have lived by. Right? I mean, seriously, think about it. And when they get power, what you guys don't understand is when you give them power at the Senate and a congressional level, those are the ones that put the judges in that squash all this, and they shouldn't be allowed to. Right? And the Supreme Court, if they ever got a hold of the Supreme Court and turned it into a very liberal court, all these things would be flushed. New York's 3 House candidates, backed by Jeffries, were steamrolled by candidates endorsed by the radical New York City mayor and the Democrat Socialists. They took all 3 seats. Former city comptroller Brad Lander took a seat. Democrat Socialist Daroliza Avila, she took a seat. Right? The state assembly member Claire Valdez, she defeated an established Democrat. You know why? They offer, and they went down by big numbers. Free. It's all free. You get free. You get free housing, right? We'll make sure it's affordable. We'll make sure you have a job. We'll make sure you have food on the table, right? And these are people running for Congress of these United States, and one of them said, here they're verbatim, the most important thing we can do is take that American empire down from within. And Ronald Reagan said it. We weren't going to be beat by an outside force. That would have been impossible to do. But we can be beat from within. And that's exactly what's happening. And you know why it's happening? All you guys that sat around and you said we have nothing to worry about. We have the Constitution. We have nothing to worry about. This is the United States. We have nothing to because you sat around, you told your kids how bad this country was. Right? Didn't teach them to work for anything. Government will take care of you. Mommy and Daddy take care of you. You talk to people that come from socialist/communist countries. You hear them all the time on a regular basis. And you blew that out the window. You don't believe I've heard you guys on the street say you don't believe them. You don't believe people that got sucked into this stuff. That were affected. I shouldn't say sucked in. That were affected. How does that work for you? No, in all seriousness, how does it work? You saw it. You've seen what's taken place. It's just amazing. Joe Messina in your house. Don't go far. A lot more coming up. Brad Dacus joins me right after the break. We'll be right back.
Omaha Steaks is rewriting the book on burgers with an all-new handmade texture for the juiciest home-style burgers you've ever tasted. Their pure ground burgers are made from single cuts of real aged Omaha steaks. These are truly steaks on a bun. Filet mignon, ribeye, New York strip, sirloin, and even brisket burgers. Now is the time to experience the exclusive Burger Perfection Flight for just $79.99. Go to omahasteaks.com and use promo code TREAT at checkout to get an extra $20 off your order plus free shipping. You'll get 4 of each pure ground burger so you can sample all the steak on a bun greatness. These burgers are crafted for a juicier, more tender experience, making your mouth water with every single bite. Don't wait. Go to omahasteaks.com. Use promo code TREAT at checkout and get $20 off the Burger Perfection Flight and discover your new burger obsession. Minimum order may be required.
You've been working hard, doing the right thing and paying your taxes and putting your hard-earned money in the Medicare piggy bank all your life. And now it's time to break the piggy bank and get something back. Medicare. If you didn't know it, Medicare is health insurance for people over 65, and you paid for it with your tax dollars. Medicare plans now have more benefits than ever. That's good news, especially if you're like me and looking forward to paying as little as possible for good health insurance. Call and find out what Medicare plan is best for you. Save your time. It's valuable. We've already done the research for you, and in one quick phone call, you can learn how to get the best Medicare plan designed exactly for you. Hey, it's one of the most important decisions in your life. Let us help you through it. Here's our number. Call 65 Plus Medicare now. 800-778-8214. 800-778-8214. That's 800-778-8214. Can your IRA stand up to the next financial crisis that our top economists are saying is at our doorsteps? By allocating a percentage of your IRA into physical gold and silver with a tax-free rollover, you can diversify and safeguard your holdings from turbulent markets and economic downturns by putting your IRA back on the gold standard. Find out how to safeguard your assets with a tax-free rollover with a Genesis Gold IRA, the only IRA that can hold physical precious metals. Call now for your free gold and silver report. Protect your IRA today with one simple phone call and learn how to qualify for up to $10,000 in free silver. Call Genesis Gold Group, empowering faith-driven stewardship. 800-504-1123. 800-504-1123. 800-504-1123. That's 800-504-1123.
We're definitely going to be late to the concert. I feel like we should be there by now.
I'm just taking a little detour. I gotta fill up my gas tank, and I know this place a couple towns over where the gas is cheaper.
Are you serious? We're going to be late for the concert because you're driving out of the way for cheaper gas? Just use Upside.
What's Upside?
Upside is the free cashback app that gets you real cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait, I can get cash back just for buying the gas I need anyway?
Yes, I use it all the time, and I've made around $200. Now pull over so you can download the Upside app before we miss the concert.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code PHIL25 to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank, PayPal, or as a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code PHIL25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code PHIL25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus. That's code PHIL25.
Attention timeshare owners. Tired of the financial stress? Were you misled by the salesperson? Don't or can't use your timeshare anymore? If any of these apply to you, then you may qualify for timeshare cancellation and get the relief you need now. Timeshare Defense Attorneys is the #1 affordable fixed fee legal solution in the country with an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. That's certainly better than my grades. They even offer a 100% client satisfaction guarantee. Let one of their experienced lawyers evaluate your case and explain the process. If they take you as a client, they'll work on your case until it's resolved in your favor, guaranteed. Expect great service and a close working relationship with your lawyer, keeping you informed every step of the way, protecting your rights, interests, and even your credit. It's that simple. Even a kid like me can understand it. The consultation is free. Call today.
800-875-1853. 800-875-1853. That's 800-875-1853.
It has been established that persons who have recently died have been returning to life and committing acts of murder.
You know this man. Go ahead. Make my day.
We're back at it again. Joe Messina, your host. Always a pleasure to have you with me. 855-REAL-JOE, 855-732-5563. Get involved, get engaged. Truly be part of the solution, right? I mean, I really do appreciate the time you spend with us, the time you're spending getting informed. And I'm telling you, man, if you get the information you need, you'll do so much better. All right. You know, somebody has to protect your children. Somebody has to give you the information. I keep telling you, I'm not the guy that figures all this stuff out. You know what I do? I bring on the people that have a clue. Seriously. Because, again, you have all these people on the radio telling you what to do, where to go, how to make it happen. They have no clue. Make sure you listen to the experts. Make sure you listen to people who've been through it, who've fought through it, and know how to make things happen. That's why I bring on people like Brad Dacus. Brad Dacus is the founder of Pacific Justice Institute, PJI. You know, I talk about them on a regular basis in a positive way, Brad. And appreciate your time with me here on the show every week, catching up on what's going on.
Oh, it's great to be on the program. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you know, it's like the reason we moved you to Fridays is because the Supreme Court keeps releasing things, or kept releasing things on a Friday. And they were a week later before we got to talk about them, you know. So at least now we'll have a fighting chance to keep up with what's going on. Anyhow.
Oh, you bet. Well, as we know, we've got battles definitely beyond the Supreme Court that we're watching, and one of them is dealing recently with the Major League Baseball league deciding to pounce on players from the San Francisco Giants. There's 3 in particular who, they were told they all had to wear these caps with these, the rainbow on it for Pride, night and everything. They had to wear the rainbow on their caps. And these are 3 Christian players who say, you know what, I don't agree with that lifestyle of morally and, religiously. And so they went and wrote on a Bible verse from Genesis, which actually talks about the origin of the rainbow, which it was from God, a promise not to flood the world again, and like it did with Noah. And so they put that on there, that Bible verse, Genesis, and Genesis 9, I think. So anyway, they did that, and then they were warned and reprimanded. And we at Pacific Justice Institute sent a letter to the Major League Baseball to let them know that these employees, they do have Title VII rights. They need to be accommodated with their religious objection to having the rainbow on their cap without at least qualifying it according to their beliefs, and that Title VII requires reasonable accommodation. We haven't heard back from them. We're waiting, but we hope that they learn the lesson. We hope other leagues learn their lesson, that if they're going to use their leagues to push out and promote certain lifestyles or issues like that, they need at the very, very least to accommodate, be respectful and tolerant towards those employees who have religious beliefs and moral values that might be divergent from what they're trying to promote for our children.
Wow. Yeah, we do need, and that's what PGA does so well, is it fights for our rights. At the rudimentary level, it fights for our rights. I got to tell you something. I told you in the past that I love, I binge listen, not watch, I binge listen to Scalia at times when he does his talks at the colleges, and he's such a humble guy. I got to tell you, funny but humble, right?
Right.
But I noticed over the last couple of weekends, I'll listen like 2 or 3 hours here, 2 or 3 hours there, because I'm a very exciting guy. But in listening to him, one of the things he kept bringing back, what his fear was, he never really mentioned Reagan in all of this, but he says, look, the Constitution is a wonderful document. It's a wonderful piece of paper, because that's all it really is. It's a piece of paper. And he said, it protects your rights, protects my rights. It's well laid out. It's got some issues that I'd like to see fixed. He said, but you know what? It is that. It's just a piece of paper. If we don't, live by it, uphold it, follow it, it's just a piece of paper. It means absolutely nothing. And I don't know how long he's been gone, but think about it. He brought that up well over 15 years ago. It had to be. And he saw it coming then. And now you've got Clarence Thomas saying the same thing. These guys are seeing this happen in real time.
Yeah. And Clarence Thomas has been a justice that has been very deeply committed to respecting the original intent of the Constitution, the strict construction. What does the language say? What was it intended to mean? And that was the parameters that he used. Also, Justice Alito has used on the court. Other justices at times have as well, some more than others. But I think it is a very clear reminder. Our Constitution there's no guarantee just because we have that Constitution if we don't have justices and voters who take it seriously and value it and elect people to office that respect it and elect people to the Senate that in the White House that respect enough to appoint judges that respect it. So that's very, 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 very true, and it's another reminder why people need to register to vote and why they need to vote this coming election, particularly when it comes to U.S. Senate races.
Yep. No, I totally agree with you. So somebody asked me a question about double jeopardy, and I wouldn't answer them because I have no clue. But Tim Walz had he had pardoned this rapist, child rapist, and the feds picked him up. And Marco Rubio is now deporting him based on him being a criminal. Would that not be considered double jeopardy? Or does the feds have a right to almost file the same kind of complaint?
Yeah, it is not double jeopardy, and here's why. So we have, Governor Walz can give, pardons or paroles or what, he can do that as governor of the state, and with regards to state criminal statutory violations of state criminal laws and codes. He does not have the power to do so with regard to federal violations of federal law or federal actions, and that's where this kicks in. The federal government is still free to look at what he did. Okay, so fine. Governor Walz thinks it's all okay and crime's great and we're all for the criminals. Walz can be that way, and he can do that in whatever capacity he wants. That does not mean that the federal government has to follow that lead and can take actions based upon what took place, and specifically in defense of the American people from such individuals who statistically have a propensity more likely than not to commit further illegal criminal activity.
Yeah, and this is sad. This is so sad that they went down this road. Look, we got to go for a quick commercial break. Don't go far. A lot more with Brad Dacus and Pacific Justice when we return.
Attention homeowners. It's not if something's going to break, it's when. That's home ownership. If your dryer, your refrigerator, or your AC and heating breaks, that's an expensive call. And who do you call? Make it easy on yourself and call Choice Home Warranty. We've already done the research and have access to 25,000 technicians that can be at your home quickly. We've covered close to 2 million homes in the United States. There's a good chance your neighbors work with us. Call us right now before the next breakdown. We'll tell you everything that's covered in your home and give you the first month free with our ironclad 30-day money-back guarantee. Call now and learn how to get your free month.
800-378-2250. 800-378-2250. 800-378-2250. That's 800-378-2250.
Limitations and exclusions apply. First month free with purchase of single plan. Visit choicehomewarranty.com for more details.
Life is full of surprises. Some wonderful, some not so much. But here's one thing you can control. making sure your loved ones are protected if the unexpected happens. At EasyPlans.com, we make getting life insurance, well, easy. In just a few minutes, you can apply online and buy direct. No awkward phone calls, no confusing jargon, and no agent will contact you unless you request help. Just clear, affordable coverage, designed to fit your life and your budget. Fast approval, flexible plans, and unlike other online insurance sites, Easy Plans won't sell your information to others. So no endless phone calls and text messages. Whether you're just starting a family, buying a home, or thinking ahead, EasyPlans.com has you covered. EasyPlans.com. We make buying life insurance, well, easy.
America's News Update, I'm John Schaefer. The government shutdown is now in its fourth week, hitting millions of Americans. On Saturday, food assistance funding will run out for more than 40 million people. Flight delays are also rising, with more than 1,000 reported today as air traffic control faces staffing shortages. The Senate failed to pass a short-term spending bill for the 13th time. A new report shows strong private sector job growth over the past 4 weeks. ADP says preliminary data indicates an average of more than 14,000 jobs added per week through October 11th, a big improvement from September. Due to the government shutdown, ADP will now release 4-week employment averages every Tuesday. Hurricane Melissa is pounding Jamaica, marking one of the strongest landfalls on record in the Atlantic. The storm is bringing life-threatening flooding, heavy rainfall, and landslides across the western part of the island.
We're definitely going to be late to the concert. I feel like we should be there by now.
I'm just taking a little detour. I gotta fill up my gas tank, and I know this place a couple towns over where the gas is cheaper.
Are you serious? We're going to be late for the concert because you're driving out of the way for cheaper gas? Just use Upside.
What's Upside?
Upside is the free cashback app that gets you real cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait, I can get cash back just for buying the gas I need anyway?
Yes, I use it all the time, and I've made around $200. Now pull over so you can download the Upside app before we miss the concert.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code PHIL25 to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank, PayPal, or as a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code PHIL25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code PHIL25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus. That's code PHIL25.
You know, you two girls have everything. You're tall and short and slim and stout and blonde and brunette. And that's just the kind of a girl I crave.
We're back at it again. Joe Messina, your host. Always a pleasure to have you with me. 855-REAL-JOE, 855-732-5563. Get involved, get engaged, be part of the solution. Love it when you are. You know, because when you're part of the solution, it means you're getting informed and informed enough to speak up. And that's what you need to do. You need to speak up. Anyway, like I said, Joe Messina, your host. Always a pleasure to have you with me. 855-REAL-JOE, 855-732-5563. Brad Dacus joins me from founder of Pacific Justice Institute. And Brad, love it when you're with me. Love it when we go through some of these things that are great. The one question we didn't kind of get through is, people are asking me again about these judges that get in the way of Trump handling just simple immigration issues. And I've already heard the Supreme Court's come down and said, look, he has a right to do this. Because immigration law is totally different than, regular law, if you would.
Correct.
How do you stop these judges? How do you nullify these judges when they come out with a ruling for Trump to be able to say, that's cute, but did you not hear what SCOTUS said, and we're going to keep deporting these people whether you like it or not?
Yeah. it has been very perplexing to me because historically we have not had this degree and number of activist judges like we have today. And it's because the Biden administration, more than half of the federal court judges that he appointed, the federal district court judges, had never done a single trial in their life. So what are they doing serving on the federal district court bench? So those are the kind of people, though, that we have. These are a lot of radical, activist, politicized judges. And so for many of them, their goal is not their reputation or the law or the justice or maybe even being appointed to the circuit. Their goal seemingly is to further a radical political agenda, and specifically to attack Trump and everything Trump wants to do and accomplish as President of the United States within his powers under the Constitution. So that's the foundation of the problem. Now, as far as them actually coming out and doing it and giving these orders and saying this, you can't do that, President, you can't do this, that we see it, reversed by the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court has given precedent after precedent regarding the immigration issues and the powers of the president, and overall very favorably to the President of the United States. So, part of me says, well, at least we're establishing some great case law by having all these bogus, judicial orders coming out, and that the Supreme Court's reversing it. But it's not going to be the end of the game problems solved if we still have justices who are still willing to do this, come hell or high water, and continuing their activist agenda over respect for the law.
Yeah, when SCOTUS went on vacation, if you would, I thought this was hilarious because these judges started to come out almost immediately, and putting down some of the rulings that SCOTUS already came out with, but actually going after the president and stopping him from doing the things that he's been called to do, the things that he's been given, that he has permission to do, according to the Constitution. So it's just nuts. And you had one judge came out almost immediately. You know how Trump told the Postal Service that they had to use that whatever the database is, and not deliver mail, not accept or deliver ballots that came in from people that were not here legally. I don't know how they have that. I don't know how that database works. And so he had the right to do that. Judge steps up. One judge says, no, you can't do that. You don't have a right to do that. He put a stop to it. And then another federal judge within days came back and said, you know what? He has every right to do that according to the SCOTUS and according to the Constitution. We're done here. Go ahead, Mr. President. This is a total waste of taxpayer money and time, is it not?
Yeah, it is. It is. The good news is that we have...
My buddy. My optimistic buddy. Go for it.
Yeah, and here it comes. Here it comes. We have, Joe, we have more federal judges that I believe that respect original intent of the Constitution in the federal district courts than any time in my lifetime. So yes, we've got these extremist, radical, rogue Biden appointees that are just unbelievable what they're doing and what they attempt to do sometimes. That said, we have so many great justices that I believe will hold them in check, and maybe at the circuit court level. Maybe it has to be appealed to the circuit court. If not, then maybe the Supreme Court. But the good news is that they do not occupy the majority of the federal court judges on either the federal district courts, the circuit court, or the Supreme Court. And with that, we can be confident that these matters will be corrected. The problem is, though, it's a delay. It takes time. So let's say the president's delayed it, just say a few months. The president has 24 months, well, a little more than 24 months, more than that in his term. But there's still, that's very valuable time. So, that's their game, is to stall. And, we love to see federal judges who are level-headed correct that as quickly as possible.
Well, I hope, again, you are the guy with the knowledge and optimism. I look at this stuff and think, man, how far down the deranged road we've gone when the governor of a state decides to let this guy go for raping a 10-year-old, and the reason he's pardoning the guy is so he doesn't get deported. That was his reasoning behind it, to keep him from being picked up by ICE. Just sick beyond imaginable. Seriously.
Very sick. Very sick.
No.
The fact that he was illegal is the reason that they're letting him off, basically, protecting him when he did such a hideous, evil thing. They're giving more leniency to illegals than to U.S. law-abiding, generally speaking, U.S. citizens. I mean,
Listen, this guy rapes a 10-year-old, and he's going to get a pardon. You have defended people for that got arrested for praying outside of Planned Parenthood, right?
Right. And yet this guy gets arrested for raping a 10-year-old. Probably really, has hurt that 10-year-old in some ways for the rest of his life, probably, in very, very serious ways potentially, and yet he gets off because the judge doesn't want him deported. No, we want him deported. We want those sick, perverted, individuals deported. I was just some other adjectives I was going to use, but
be nice.
I think I said it quickly. So
what about that judge that just got a slap on the wrist for all intents and purposes? Remember the judge who hid the illegal from ICE, and then she got picked up and charged and all that. And yesterday, I think the judge in her case gave her a $5,000 fine, no probation, none of that.
Yeah. And that is frustrating because she should have had more serious of a penalty than that. But and once again, this all falls back to, especially when we're talking about state courts. State courts is not something the president has any control over. Governors do generally, and they appoint judges to state courts. Some of them also are reelected by the people in states across the country. So the people of those states and the governors, the people that they elect for governor, and these are people from the left, are the ones who are elevating and appointing these justices, these judges that are allowing criminals to be set free and victimize innocent people, innocent children. And it's not just isolated. This has been going on. California, this has been going on. It's just outrageous, the extent to which it takes place, even county by county. If you are a victim of a crime in Los Angeles County versus, say, Orange County, they're right next to each other in California. Orange County, you're more likely to have the perpetrator to be prosecuted and punished and put behind bars than if the same exact offense happened to you in Los Angeles County. And it shouldn't be like that.
No, I totally agree with you. It's frustrating to no end. I mean, frustrating, major frustrating. We're going to go to break in a second here. When we come back, I've got one for you that somebody just sent to me about Kayleigh McEnroe. She went off on the Utah judge for delaying the decision on whether Charlie Kirk, his murder case, is going to go to trial. I'm thoroughly lost by this, and he's not going to make the decision until sometime in September. What does that do to the family? We'll be back in a few minutes, people. Don't go far. A lot more coming up.
Have you ever picked up a towel set because it felt really soft in the store, but then when you go to use it, it's not very absorbent? That's why MyPillow has developed the MyPillow towels. Towels that work. The 6-piece towel set includes 2 bath towels, 2 hand towels, and 2 washcloths. And right now you can receive a 6-piece set for only $39.98 with promo code USA. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the radio listener special, and enter promo code USA, or call 800-951-8175. That's MyPillow.com, promo code USA.
Take as little as 3 minutes to see if you could save on motorcycle insurance with Progressive. Come on, you've spent more time than that trying to name your bike.
How about the Crusher? I guess it's not really crushing anything. The Silver Bolt? No. Oh, what about Pepper? Mysterious. Is it a pet or a condiment? Surprise! It's a motorcycle. No, that's stupid.
Get a quote in as little as 3 minutes at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Do you have a story to tell? Bring your story to life with audiobooks. Great stories deserve great storytelling. Audiobook Network provides professional voice actors and full production services for every author's manuscript. From narration, production, and editing to distribution, promotion, and sales, Audiobook Network handles everything. If you have a print book, ebook, or even a manuscript, call Audiobook Network now and get our free audiobook guide. 800-734-1229. 800-734-1229.
I'd like to introduce you to our new sponsor, Get the Tea. Get the Tea carries all natural, non-GMO organic teas and supplements made in the USA. Get the Tea's ingredients are the purest available. My favorite is Life Change Tea. Life Change Tea is a gentle daily cleanse containing 12 herbs that when combined really keep things moving. I drink it every day and my energy has never been better. I'm feeling great. Life Change Tea comes in 3 delicious flavors, natural, peppermint, and pomegranate. It's an easy and delicious way to keep your digestion on track. And for those on the go, try D365. D365 is Life Change Tea in a capsule. Drink the tea or take D365 capsules and keep your digestion running smoothly. Go to getthetea.com and enter discount code USA to get 10% off any size order. That's getthetea.com, discount code USA for 10% off your order.
Okay, I'm talking funny because I'm in the witness protection program. I have too much credit card debt and I don't want people to find me.
Okay, I'm just kidding. We're going to talk about credit card debt. Right, those plastic things that we all have in our wallet. Are you in your 50s or 60s and you're still carrying around a mound of credit card debt? Wouldn't it be nice to start banking that money and save a little money for retirement down the road? We help people restructure their credit card debt all the time. We show people how they can get out of credit card debt in months, not years. Listen, you'll be carrying around credit card debt for the rest of your life unless you deal with it right now. We offer a free consultation so you can learn how you can finally wipe out your credit card debt and start saving money. Give us a free call right now.
Call Debt Solutions Network now. 866-451-3328. 866-451-3328. That's 866-451-3328.
If you're a diabetic, we have great news. You can end the painful finger sticks with a new CGM. Plus, they may be covered by Medicare, Medicaid, or private insurance. If you test and inject daily, you may qualify. Call US Med now to learn more.
800-471-7065. 800-471-7065. 800-471-7065. That's 800-471-7065.
Attention! This is a public notice from the Social Security Disability Helpline. If you're one of the millions of Americans who are disabled and unable to work, you may be eligible for disability benefits from Social Security. Receiving benefits is your right. If you suffer from physical or mental disability, whether you're applying for the first time or you've already been denied, we can help. We'll evaluate your situation and deal with Social Security on your behalf. Best of all, there's no fee until you receive your benefits. Remember, we only get paid if you win your case. There are many reasons and conditions that may make you eligible for disability benefits. Many of them you may not be aware of. So if you're disabled and unable to work, call now to get started with your free, no-obligation consultation.
800-362-9337. 800-362-9337. That's 800-362-9337.
Is it true you're getting a divorce as soon as your husband recovers his eyesight?
We're back at it again. Joe Messina, your host. Always a pleasure to have you with me. 855-REAL-JOE, 855-732-5563. Brad Dacus joins us. Always love when he's with us. He's the founder of Pacific Justice Institute. And Brad, before we get rolling, and I forget all about it, we run out of time, let's talk about what Pacific Justice Institute is, what it does, and how people can help you.
You bet. Well, Pacific Justice Institute, as many know, is a national organization. We started in California, but now we have 37 offices coast to coast, 147 cases in active litigation, and we do our work completely without charge. And our goal is to try to make sure that everyone gets help, that no one's left on the side of the road. It's a heavy goal and objective, but it's exciting to see so many people get assistance when it comes to religious freedom in the workplace or at school or in the public square, or parents' rights, dealing with social workers or government schools or government mandates, or the sanctity of human life. These are all three very important areas, and we at Pacific Justice take these on and are very pleased with the outcomes that we've been able to see and accomplish, and particularly just within the last 2 years. We've been around for almost 30 years, but the last 2 years have been probably by far the most successful.
Oh, definitely. I mean, like I said, here we talk about the Pacific Justice often, frequently, talk about what's going on and what have you. So, and I try to keep people up on what's going on, but they can do it themselves. Hello, people. You can do it yourself by just heading over to pji.org, pji.org, and you can go ahead and this way here you'll understand what's going on, and they can help you move through these things, find out what your rights are, and all of that. So, anyway, where was I now? I forgot. I'm getting old. Oh, we're talking about the judge in Utah, and many of us have been watching and seeing what's going off there. And today, Fox News' Kayleigh McEnroe, she went off on the Utah judge, and I think she had every right to. And she said, they're delaying the decision on whether the case should even go to trial. That's the part that, got my ears all tingly. And he's not going to make the decision to sometime in mid to the end of September to even discuss this. Now, you got the Charlie Kirk family that have to, put up with this, have to listen to this, have to try to figure out what's going on. This isn't right, is it? Why? What legal reason would you want to delay this that long for?
I've been trying to process this myself. I've never seen this kind of a delay in a criminal case like this, when the proper protocol expectation is you have a preliminary hearing, the judge looks at the evidence the prosecution is going to bring forth and hears from the defense, and then makes a determination whether based on the evidence that is likely admissible, whether the defendant is more likely than not to be found guilty, and of the alleged crime or crimes. And then he says so. He says, okay, this is moving forward. And then the next day, he has the defendant rise and plead and say, okay, well, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, no contest? What do you plead? And then the pleading goes out, and then we move ahead with more, motions and hearings and things like that, but the trial moves on. So why this judge is delaying? We're in July, okay, early mid-July, okay, July 10th. Why he's holding off on deciding whether for it to move forward in September is baffling, because all the evidence has pretty much been made apparent to the judge at this time from the prosecution as to what they're willing to argue and present, and it is extremely compelling in so many different ways. We have the video cameras, we have his roommate validating that was him in the video cameras. We have text messages where in a note which accounts to a virtual admission to committing the crime. Mm-hmm. We have DNA, exculpatory evidence that validates that, this was him, this is the one who did it. As far as motive, that's real clear. It's all laid out, his motives. Even the casings from the bullets has his the things he wrote on the bullets, the shells of the bullet.
Yeah, his engravings.
Engravings, and the fact that we have evidence that he, that he did that, and he did it 1 month before this happened. And the fact also, the gun that was used, the casings, the towel, with his DNA evidence there, they estimate the odds are less than 1 in a trillion that this was someone else, based on the DNA alone. And we know that gun is the one that had the bullet that killed Charlie Kirk. The evidence is overwhelming.
Yep.
Way overwhelming, much more overwhelming than some of the other more famous trials, like O.J. Simpson and things like that. It's extremely overwhelming, and so I am baffled. And I hope there has not been a threat to his life or the life of his family, and that he's trying to maybe that's where I'm at right now. I do not see, based on what is before us, why he would delay. Maybe there's something that is not disclosed that we can't think of, but would be very. Maybe there's a health medical issue at play here, either of the judge or of the prosecution or the defense counsel or or the defendant. I'm just trying to think this through, but clearly, based on what we see so far, there is no rational basis for him to do what he did, based on what we see as a parent so far.
What's funny is and I know we try sometimes to give them the benefit of the doubt, but in looking at more and more of this stuff, remember we talked about this a little bit earlier, where you've got these judges now that are, I don't know, I'm letting these people get away with murder for all intents and purposes. Judges that are letting these rapists go. And I want to believe that this guy's not one of those. I think he's been on the bench a little longer and wasn't appointed by. He wasn't appointed. He's a Utah judge. So, but you sit there and you wonder. You have to think to yourself, are we a rule of law country? Or are we not? And so one of the conversations I had with a couple of guys this weekend, and you tell me whether I'm right or wrong. I said, look, the law has room for compassion, but not emotion. And when the road I went down, and again, you correct me if I'm wrong. I said, look, when a guy steals from a store because he's got 5 kids at home, lost his job, he doesn't know what to do, and he's trying to feed them, he still stole. He still broke the law. But a judge can have a little compassion for this guy and maybe not hit him with a fine or 20 years in prison, right? Some community service, whatever. But when somebody goes in and steals a TV set just because everybody else was, you know what I'm saying, got caught up in the emotion of the moment, that's not the same. I don't think there should be. He still stole. You can have a little compassion and understanding for the first guy. You can. The law's got room for that, but not to totally dismiss because you think the guy came from a different country and doesn't understand, right? Right.
Okay. And that's why, I think a lot of Americans are frustrated because, justice is supposed to be blind. It's not supposed to give favoritism because, say, you're here illegally, and okay, we're going to be nicer to you because you came here illegally, so we're not going to, we're going to let you off versus someone who's here legally. Actually, it's very illogical. If anything, you think it'd be the other way around, possibly. But we, at the very least, we're supposed to have blind justice, equal treatment and protection under the law, and it's very frustrating for Americans, hardworking, decent Americans, to find our health and safety at risk because of the judges who have political agendas that statistically will impact innocent people down the road more likely than not.
Yeah, no, I am being not the guy that's in court all the time like you. I'm just totally perplexed by all this. I really am. I'm sitting here trying to figure it out, why wouldn't they hold up? And it's what I told you about Scalia. He just said, it's a piece of paper, unless we back it, unless we hold it up, unless we, decide that we're going to live by this. And I think that's what's
right.
Getting a lot of people crazy,
Yeah, and I understand that. And then, of course, what we saw once again with, as you mentioned, with this judge delaying till September on a basic decision of whether to move forward with the trial. I am perplexed, and I have to think there has to be something that we don't know, maybe a health concern, maybe the judge needs a surgical procedure, he wants to delay the court so he can be healed and recovered, so he doesn't have to give the case to another judge. I'm willing to bet it's something that we don't know that may make rational sense, because right now it just makes no sense at all. And
okay, my optimist friend, I'll go with that. We can finish with that one. Hey, God bless for what you do, Brad. I always appreciate what you do and that you come on with me. And you have a great weekend. We will catch up with you next weekend. Joe Mazzini, your host, guys. Don't go far. A lot more coming up after the break. You're stuck with me, and I feel bad for you because I'm wound up. We'll be back in a